Right, welcome everyone to another episode of the Love Island cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris. Delighted to be back again, and shock of the season, Marvin's left the villa.
Who's that, Dave? Who the fuck's he?
Captain Marvin there with his cape on. To be fair, he was putting up a valiant fight, wasn't he? So he realised he had no chance with Amber, and then he's moved on to Francesca and done, slightly better there. And I actually thought for a second tonight, he might actually pull this off, because after the whole dancing exercise that they had, I thought Maura and Curtis were going to be coupled up from that, and we'd see how that develops. But Francesca's ended up not going the way of Marvin and ended up coupling up with Curtis there.
Yeah, Curtis though, Dave, snaky McSnake face, because he's giving it the old hips and that to Maura, wasn't he? She did all the Catwoman thing for him and all that, and through the episode they were chatting together, and he said, I still want to talk to her and all this fucking bullshit. But Maura's face, so when Francesca picked him, Maura's bitch face was the best bitch face I've ever seen. She doesn't hide it, Dave, with a smile or
no.
She's fucking there, like, I am going to kill you. If she had Superman's sort of laser eyes, I think she'd have obliterated Francesca there and then, because genuinely, what annoys me about Maura is, we've said it before, man, and she's always a topic of conversation. She's so polarising. She's great TV because she literally is as hypocritical as what we've called Anna out on. Because if it's going her way, she gives advice, she tells everyone straight, blah, blah, blah. But then she will just, if it doesn't suit her agenda, she just does what the fuck she wants, which I love to watch. But it's like, well, you can't kick off at Francesca because you've done that. You tried it with Tommy, you've done it with other people in there, you've flipped from lad to lad. What can you do? It's the name of the game, and I can't understand why she's so upset. I'm thinking, she's been in there for over 3 or 4 weeks now, Dave. She must know this is Love Island. I was thinking, I'm not a fan of that Francesca, but she had to do it, and fair play to her. She didn't bottle it and go for Chris or Marvin. She went for Curtis, and I think she's clever, because I think Curtis is going to be there till the end, Dave. So I think what she's done is really clever, unless he recouples with Maura.
I can't see. He's not into Maura at all. And the thing I like about Maura, I have to say, is she's absolutely 100% or 0%. So at the moment, and it remains to be seen how long it'll last for, but she's been 100% Curtis for the last few days. She brought fucking Marvin into the villa. She was nearly falling asleep, on the date with Chris. But she's voted Marvin off effectively by coupling up with Chris. So she is all or nothing. And so I think that's funny. And, saying to Curtis, like, I have to take all of this off if I want to go to the toilet. And I've got no pants on. She just can't lay it out there anymore, but you can see Curtis is being the diplomat, or the snake, as you put it, and he's like, I don't want to lie to you, about getting to know Francesca. But I think he's leaning more towards Francesca, isn't he? He'll couple up with Maura if he has to, if it means staying in the villa. But I think he sees himself, Francesca's a bit more laid back. I mean, Maura's very full on, isn't she? And so I think Curtis will, not close the door on Maura, but I think he'll get to know Francesca a bit more. Yeah,
because he'd said, didn't he, collars Maura after the recoupling and says, I've the door's still open. It's, I still want to get to know you. And then behind the next door, he goes in with Francesca. So I couldn't stop smiling. I was dying to laugh, and I was like,
"Yeah,
bastards," you know what I mean? Like, so that's where, as much as he's got the snake hips days, he's got the old snake lips as well. That fucker, he don't care. He's just totally manipulating it. And fair fuck to him. That's what Love Island's all about. Dave, I've got to speak about the game. We actually saw a game this week. Last week, because of all the drama, we didn't see any of the fun, did we?
Yeah.
This week, we've had a bit of fun. Ovie, what a man, Dave. 20 squats. Now, I thought it was a bit unusual he picked Anna. There was no mention of that at all. And I'm saying to Sam, squatting Anna, he's squatting Anna here. What's going on here? And yeah, he was.
What do you reckon that's all about, though? I mean, look, Anna's probably the heaviest girl there. So, I mean, but then he stopped at 20 because he's saying, with Jordan there, I just don't want to, be disrespectful. There are a lot of lads who do a lot of squats, clearly. Anton, Michael, they're in the gym all the time doing a lot of squats. Do you think he's actually just he's come up with a bit of an excuse there?
He might have done. I mean, when he kicked the footy, he had some quads on him, Dave. He definitely... I don't think he's missed leg day.
He's a specimen, but, he's not the only specimen. And so I just thought it was, if it was me, honestly, I'd pick the smallest one. I think Joanna's probably about the lightest there, isn't she?
Yeah.
Because she's small, she's very slight. So, right, grab her quick and then have a chance of winning it. So I don't know. I thought it was strange. I mean, out of everyone, I didn't think Ovie would pick Anna just because of what's happened. But, I wasn't sure what was really going on there. I mean, it sounded plausible what he was saying, but then don't pick Anna in the first place.
Exactly. It wasn't even made a big issue on the show, was it? It was like, we're past all the Anna, Jordan, Ovie stuff already. So
yeah.
Jordan didn't look very happy, but then I don't think he was moaning too much I think he had Amber when he was doing his. So
he looked pretty happy when he popped that penalty away, though, didn't he? And he was grabbing his crotch and kicking out to either side. I think I was pretty unimpressed with most of the footballing skills. I think there was only Marvin. He was the only other one that popped penalty away, and he's like, there's a bit of pressure on me because I'm a semi-professional footballer. It's like, fucking hell. Marvin was claiming he's a professional footballer. He plays for Brompton or some London borough, so I don't know. What does that age mean? I'm a semi-professional. Oh, yeah. You get 20 quid a weekend.
Yeah. Dave, I'm a fucking semi-pro wanker, but that doesn't mean I
can. So you get paid a bit.
Who, me? I get paid per money shot, Dave, I think.
Oh, dear me. On that note. So what else caught your eye out of the games?
Yeah, I mean, going slightly back to the penalties, I genuinely, the parent in me and the older I get, the more health and safety conscious I get. I've had some serious injuries on my ankles playing football, Dave, and you've played football with me, and I'm not the best footballer. I'm far from being even a quarter of a pro, let alone a semi-pro. And I've done my ankles. So when Anton fell over that ball, he was lucky he didn't break his ankle there, Dave, and he went flying backwards. I know it's a bit dramatic, but I think when you do that, I have like a reflex when I do it, and I know my ankles are going to go. So I thought it was quite a dangerous game, to be honest. But it made good TV because it was just shots going down.
I mean, with a dive like that, he could get a role in one of the Premiership clubs, I think. But I know what you mean. I didn't really think of that. I mean, I've done the same. I've gone over on my left ankle, like on the ball. And so, but I didn't think of that. I just thought, what's he doing? He sort of fell over a bit, but then just took this ridiculous dive. But it was a good bit of TV, like you say, made it entertaining for us. But I'd say, Chris, that curry challenge, those looked like they were spicy curries. It looked like some of the lads were struggling with those. But all I could think was, crikey, that Villa's going to be ripe tonight.
He said he stopped squatting because he was going to shit himself. So I don't know. Maybe it worked a bit too fast.
Immediate effect of the spicy curry there.
Oh, Dave, you won't be wearing white on that. Stick to the dark colours, people. Stick to the dark colours.
Yeah, doing the old Gary Lineker and shitting himself. Yeah, so what else from tonight? I guess I quite liked, you know what, Chris? Amber had about, I would say, 2 or 3 days where we ended up calling her out. And I called her out actually from episode 1. You know, I thought she was giving a bit too much of a hard time to Callum. And then, you know, she was being quite off with Malcolm, with Michael. And so we've given her a bit of stick there. And I think rightly so for what I think was poor behaviour. That's what we always focus on, is the behaviour of people. But I have to say, since Casa Amor, she's just, I don't want to say she's played a blinder, but she's been herself, but she just comes across really well. And I think, you know, more and more and more, I just think Michael's a tool. You know, he had me bought in the first few weeks. But, you know, the fact that after that whole challenge, you know, Amber took Michael aside and talked to him about the laugh and stuff and just said, look, just so you know, you do know me, but you could interpret it badly. She's sort of taken on board all the things that he was saying and sort of ironed out that thing before it actually became a thing. And, you know, Jordan's there, he's saying to him, look, it's not just us seeing the edited version of this thing. It's clear Jordan's seeing the same thing, that there's no real connection between him and Joanna. It's nothing like, you know, what it was with Amber. But I think Michael is so set now. He's like, I've chosen Joanna. I'm going to make this work. And I think he called himself out very early in the show for being stubborn. And I think he's just going to remain stubborn, stay with Joanna, and then, you know, it's going to end up going nowhere.
Yeah, I think we're going to end up with a damp squib here, Dave. I think Amber and Ovie teaming up is a great thing for spreading the votes a bit more. Everyone, the public on Twitter, I've not seen a bad word said against Ovie, you know, as far as I can see anyway. And everyone's saying Ovie and Amber together. I think something might happen now, Dave. I think there could be a blossom, especially if they're in bed together. She's saying, like, oh, I hope he gets with someone, blah, blah, blah. I think she's just saying that to service Anna as a friend, because it's allegedly girl code, but Anna's got no code, as I've said before. So if I was Amber and there's something there and there seems to be a genuine connection, they're having a good time, a good laugh, just go for it, Dave. Just go for it.
I think there's definitely chemistry there. I just wonder, I think Amber's head is still just with Michael, but Ovie's so chilled. I don't know if it'll happen in the time that we've got left on the show, but I could definitely see something happening there. And as for the girl code, I mean, Amber's a bit younger, isn't she? So she believes it all, whereas Anna's like, Anna and Maura are a little bit older, and then they use it when it suits their agenda. Yeah,
that's true. It's true. It's very true. And Dave, classic. Fucking talk about awkward. Chris comes in with his fucking monobrow and a fucking shitty cup of tea, look like he'd never brewed it properly. And he comes in and went, oh, all right, cup of tea for you there. And she's like...
He's fucking northern, you twat.
He looked like Dick Van Dyke, Dave. So he's going, all right, here's a cup of tea. You know what I mean?
Just nipped up the old apples and pears.
Mary Poppins. Well, I live and breathe.
I'm sure he sounds like he's not got like a Jordan Manchester accent, but he sounds like somewhere in that vicinity.
Look, hang on a minute. I'm going to have a look at this, Dave, because that's done with it. Because like I say, a lad I know worked with him at one point over in, I don't know, it's Magaluf or wherever I said the other day. I can't remember, but let me have a look here.
I think it was Magaluf, wasn't it?
Yeah, let me have a look. That fucking accent, and he's not even from, I thought he was a Cockney. Chris Taylor. Who is new arrival, Chris Taylor?
I've got it, yeah. Oh, Leicester.
Oh, yeah. Don't give me that. It's not on the M1,
hey,
Dave.
Leicester, well, it's north from me.
Not from me, Dave, anyway.
I think where we can agree, though, he's a knobsock. All right, you think he's a cock. I think he's a knobsock. We'll agree that it's in the same vicinity there. But, I mean, coming up with that cup of tea, all right, you could say that's sweet, but it's just come out of the blue. and then he makes up some weak excuse. Oh, this is why I didn't take you on the date, because I thought it's, a bit close to Michael. And again, though, Amber, she's so fucking sharp. She's like, oh, yes, but the day after, that's fine, like, and then he's trying to come up with his chocolate analogies. And it was just brilliant. And what made it so great, and it's proper buttock-clenchingly embarrassing, is he's trying to come up with this stuff, and Amber's just so sharp to just shoot him down, It's like, you're like an Easter egg. Oh, so I'm hard on the outside and empty on the inside. Oh, no, a bueno. And then I can't remember, she shoots him down in somewhere there. It's, why are we arguing about chocolate? It's like, well, you brought up the chocolate, you twat. Oh dear, no. So I mean, I wouldn't have been. I wouldn't have even minded if he'd have gone and Marvin had stayed in, to be honest. But let's see where he goes next. But I don't think he's got a chance with Amber there, has he?
Yeah, Dave, I don't think he's got a chance with anybody. He's not got anything about him that I can see. I mean, all right, he's got a six-pack. He's got a bit of a look of Nick Grimshaw. He's slightly different. He's not totally muscle-bound, but he obviously trim, looks after himself. But his personality in that is really difficult to take to him, I think. I think he's just one of them non-Islander. Fucking hell, maybe he needs to chop his
Highlander.
Yeah, Highlander.
There can be only one.
Kind of a cloud.
He does. I mean, you say about the job in Magaluf, he does just strike me as one of those reps.
Yeah.
Those slimy reps trying to sell you a fucking timeshare or something. Or get you to go into a club for free drinks.
Yeah, he does. That's exactly what he is. A Beefer Uncovered or something like that. I mean, I watch a Beefer Weekender, which is a proper reality one, and that's staged as well, where you get like 4 people are coming to these apartments, so this hotel, 2 girls, 2 lads, and they get looked after by the reps and go out on the piss and stuff, Dave. And it's convoluted because it's in a real hotel and stuff, but it's bullshit. It's all set up, and he looks like the type he'd probably end up on the Beef a Weekend with him. I'd probably end up seeing him in about a year's time, and telling you, because he just looks just a dick, to be honest. A dick. Not my cup of tea.
He might be a stand-up bloke, but I don't think he is. But yeah, no. So now, Chris, have you got any emails for us?
We have. We've got a first-time email. I'm sorry. We've got a first-time email.
That's easy for you to say.
Yeah. All right, Dave. I'll just go again. We've got an emailer. Someone's emailed us, Dan Clark Hall. Thank you, Dan, for emailing the show. He's entitled Ovie, and he's put, "Hi, guys. Have you noticed that a lot of the funny stuff we see from Ovie would normally be relegated to the Unseen Bit show? Do you think it is to try and make him the hero to Anna's villain? And do you think our opinions would change with the others if we saw them in anything other than the constant stressful situations we see? Cheers, boys. Keep those cricket bats hanging, Dan." That's got to be one of the best ones we've had, that. But I think he makes a point, Dave. There's got to be a reason why all the housemates respect Anna so much. We're trying to say, oh, she's controlling. She might not be. But again, the editing says a lot, because we thought Ovie had about as much personality as a fucking basketball post, basketball net. And he's one of the funniest guys in there. Yeah.
And you just, it's weird, isn't it, with Ovie? Because you're almost catching his funny bits initially off very much to the side of the camera. The camera's on someone and he's just boogieing away to himself, with his hat on and loud shirt, and it's just like, oh, this guy's super chilled, whereas he seemed a bit intense from that first glimpse at Casa Amor. So I mean, the editing could be something to do with it. But honestly, I think, Chris, when we're making judgments on, the behaviours of people and then forming an opinion about someone, generally you've met these kind of people in life as well. So you kind of know what they're going to act like, and then they kind of conform to that personality type. I'm not ruling it out. It could be. I just think she has brought herself in as that matriarch figure. She's very good at giving out the advice. It's a bit like Curtis, isn't it? Although he's had the rug pulled from under him. You know, he's kind of discredited with the whole Amy situation. So he doesn't seem to give his motivational speeches anymore. He's kind of given up on that. And I don't know whether it's he's stopped giving them completely or people have stopped listening. Maybe a bit of both. I think with Anna, she still doles out advice and opinions very, very quickly. The thing that winds us up is she doesn't adhere to them herself.
Yeah, that's true. I think Dan's got a point, but I just think with Anna, you are completely right. I just think there's something, she's just like that. She's just got an entitlement that she just thinks she's right. So, no, I think he's got a great point, and probably on some of the other islanders, like we're calling out Marvin and Chris, could be great guys. Maura said he's fitting in really well. He might be a cracking lad, but what we've seen, he just looks like an absolute plum at the moment. So I might change in a few weeks. I'm happy to call myself out and say, Chris, you were wrong. We've done that.
We've done that plenty of times. We've been on and off every single bus there is, I think.
Exactly. So we'll see as it goes on. Now, yesterday, we mentioned that we've been asked to do a podcast on the Love Island USA, which has just started this week. And we said, stay tuned. Well, we're happy to announce that our first episode is live. I'm sure some of you guys have listened to it. It's been great show, and I had a good laugh doing the podcast. We're only at episode 1. Episode 2 is going to be going up today as well. Now, obviously, there is ways to watch it. I'll let you guys find that online. But it is a cracking show. So if you are interested, it's on the same URL. If you subscribe to the Love Island cast, it's on there in the list of episodes. So it doesn't go anywhere else. And we're still on the same social media channels. So obviously on Twitter, @Love Island Cast. And if you want to email the show, which everyone is, including Dan has today, it's the loveislandcast@gmail.com. So if you get over there, you're intrigued by Love Island USA. And all I'm going to say to you is, these guys do not hold back, did they, Dave?
No, not at all. They're straight in there, aren't they? And I think the interesting thing for me was, you know, when I started watching this series, I had no idea what was going to happen. So this time I'm feeling a bit smug about myself. I'm like, I know what's going to happen here. But they seem to accelerate to like week 2 or 3. I think Amy would have fitted in there quite well, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah, even in that first episode and the second episode, there's a fair bit of drama there already. So, I'm intrigued on how that one goes.
No, exactly. So if you are intrigued, guys, get over there. Now, it's been a great episode. Thank you all again, as always. Myself and Dave loving it. And, yeah, we'll see you all tomorrow for another episode of the Love Island Cast. Thank you, guys. Have you got anything to leave us out, Dave?
Not a fucking sausage.
That's all I need to know. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.